Hi everyone, and welcome to Timesport on the Beat, a podcast presented by the New Straits Times, where we try to talk about everything sports. My name is Fabian Peter, and I have been a sports writer with the NST for the past 7 years. Each week, we will be discussing various topics with sports officials, athletes, and even fans to bring you behind the scenes of what actually takes place in the world of sports. So sit back, folks, and enjoy the show. And what do you think about Malaysia's overall performance at the Games?
Certain individuals have performed well, but if you say overall, I think
it's a bit of a disappointment.
It's a bit of a disappointment.
Yeah. I mean, I think for the first time after so long, we have not, achieved.
Yeah.
We're way below par in terms of the total medal haul.
Although we did put medals, tally, achievement, we achieved it, but if you look at it, if you look at the other countries and their achievement,
correct,
I think we were left behind.
Yes.
Sad.
Right, back to our topic, Doctor. In our
Looking
previous, in our previous episode, we delved into grassroots and development. This time around, we're going to take it one step further, right? So we understand how grassroots and development work, and like you said, it's part. You've got the business side of things. You've got your, your education ministry is also involved. These are all the stakeholders. Right?
Yeah.
Today we want to talk about the older players.
Okay.
Once they come up through the youth system, then they make it into your under 18s, your under 19. You've got your under 23, and we want to talk a little bit about the Sea Games.
Yeah.
And how Malaysia performed at the Sea Games. Unfortunately, they did not win a medal.
Yeah.
Because they lost in the playoffs.
That's right.
Right? So, what is your take, Doctor, on our Sea Games performance?
Well, I would still... Oh, yes, we failed. I would say we failed miserably. Yeah. For one, Southeast Asian Games or football in Sea Games is not ranked in the FIFA standings.
Okay.
Because it's under 23. So it's not, even if a national team, it's not a senior national team.
Okay.
It is an age group national team. So by virtue of that, we will not get a FIFA ranking.
Okay.
A tournament of that stature, we should close our eyes and become champions. The way I look at, if you look at the facilities that we have, the infrastructure that we have, some of the countries are struggling.
Okay.
But they did put up a good fight.
Yeah.
Right? Now, teams to notice were like Timor-Leste and so on, who have picked up. They came to us for help, and they have picked up. Now, why didn't we? Because before we went, our target, the national team's target, FAM's target, the sports ministry's target was gold for football. So easily we'll win gold.
Okay.
They said it. Then we didn't even win bronze. Where was the problem? Okay, now that's the question, yeah?
Yep.
We have established we didn't win. Where's the problem? Now that means I'll take back to the last podcast.
Yep.
Grassroots and youth development. It is like if you do not have a good foundation, the house could collapse at any time. If there are strong undercurrent water, underground rivers, unseen, it will shake the stature, the strength of the building. Likewise, we do not have good grassroots and youth. Now, yes, we have a sports school in Gambang,
Yes.
which houses the age group boys.
Yep.
But that's insufficient. Really, really insufficient. And Totally to blame a national coach? I don't think so. Because he can do only that much with the talent given to him. That is the reason why I'm saying at an age group, we do not need foreign coaches.
Okay.
I feel that local coaches at this century in 2022, we should not rely at a foreigner. But I get a feeling that the National Association, when they put a foreigner, they think the general public will think, well, there is a foreigner, he will create a magic. And I have the same feeling for Kim Panggon. Yeah, he could be one of the best coaches in the world. Okay, leave aside that view, but does he have the material to create a champion team? Okay, so even in the initial stages, the under-23 team, before going into Sea Games competition, they already had problems. You know, they lost to Timor-Leste.
Correct.
But everybody said, even when I criticized in my FB postings, some of them told me, give them a chance. They are just doing some trial and error. But for me, I think if you do trial and error and you play against Japan and you lose, justified, but you cannot lose to Timor-Leste. Even our reserves should be able to beat them. That's how you look at football.
Yep.
You know, of course, you're not underestimating Timor-Leste, but knowing very well that what we have, the kind of sports education, coach education,
the ability that we have,
we should not falter at that level. Yeah, that was already an indication that we were not going in the right direction.
Yeah.
So I posted, I said, one down, many more to come.
Yeah.
Okay, and eventually it came. Okay, and a lot of them said when everybody felt that it was a good game. Yes, for the initial stage, first game against Thailand was good. They won.
Correct. Yeah.
But that doesn't conclude the end. You know, we do not know what was the strategy of Thailand. Eventually, Thailand went into finals.
Correct.
You see, they lost to us. They went into the finals. So I would say leave that episode. We are not going to do anything. All we can do is do a post-mortem of what happened. And I saw a couple of matches. I think we need to look for more talent.
Yep.
We are totally relying on Lukman Hakim and some players who the opponents know who is our danger man.
Yep.
And they can pinpoint and what do you call? They have locked them on.
Yes.
And we have nowhere else to go because all our other players can't do anything much.
Correct.
Yeah?
Correct. I think this brings me to this question about our coach, our under-23 coach, Brad, right? Brad Maloney. Do you think, because the talent pool is small, he has got no choice but to be over-dependent on a group of players, over-reliance on the same players?
Definitely. In comparison, I'll share something with you.
Yep.
Way back in the early years, just before the 2002 World Cup,
yep,
I was on a attachment mission to Japan.
Correct. Yes.
And during one of the visits in the JFA office in the Youth and Development Department, they gave me an analogy to what we have done. Okay, let's analyze it. They had an under-19 team, under-17, under-19 team. Now, they had 40 players in one group, and they had the second 40 players in the second group. Okay,
so
that
40
means
players.
They had 80.
Okay.
Yeah, 80 players for the under-17 team.
Okay.
Okay.
80 players for
80.
the under-17.
Yeah.
Okay.
So what they did, they took the first 40 out to a playing tour.
Okay.
They played 4 or 5 matches in the tour to analyze the ability of their players. They used all their players.
Okay.
They came back. Then, a month later, the second 40 went to the same venue. They went first and played against the same teams, and they came back. Then, from these 80 players, they put a team of 25. Okay. They selected the best players. Okay, the others were in training.
Okay.
So the 25 was shortlisted for the under-17 national team.
Okay.
They took this 25 to 30 players they had. They went on a 3-month playing tour to Europe.
Okay.
They played several matches. Then they came back. After 6 months, just before their qualification tournament for Asia, 6 months after that, when they came back, they look at the results. They had coaches who went with them, who took the positive, who took the negative, brought back where the good area they need to strengthen.
Yep.
The weak area they need to better it. Then they went back after 5 to 6 months. They went back and played against the same teams that they lost 5-0 and 4-0, and they played against top class teams. They didn't play like Timor-Leste and so on. They went to Europe. They played against Germany. They played against Belgium or Holland. The likes of top class teams. Yeah, and top clubs.
Yeah.
So after playing, they came back, and then after about 3 months, they went, after making amendments to that loss, they went back again.
Yeah.
And then they compared results. Now they could see, when first game, when they went, they lost 4-0. Now it's only 1-0. Improvement.
Yeah.
A lot of improvement.
Yeah.
Teams that they drew 1-1, this time they won 2-1. This is what we got to do. Where did the pool come from? The pool came from all the youth leagues throughout the country. But question is, number one, we do not have a good youth league.
Correct.
There are no or none at all, I wouldn't say, but there are very, very few clubs concentrating on grassroots and youth development. Whereas in Japan and in Europe and so on, we do not want to compare, but we got to learn from the best.
Correct.
Right? So they actually have, on their own, you need not actually go to a club, and the National Association does not have to insist that you must have grassroots, you must have youth development, you must have this, you must have that. No, we don't have to, because they are self-reliant, they are self-sufficient, they know what is needed of a professional club. That is lacking here. So we can only do that much to select certain number of players, and Bukit Jalil or Gambang can only accommodate that number of players.
Yep.
But that is not the end of it. Some players can be late bloomers.
Correct.
So late bloomers, you might not catch them at the age of 12, 13 and 14.
Yeah.
What if they start blooming at age of 16, 17 and 18 and they are in their kampongs? What do we do? So where are our football scouts? We have none.
Yeah.
This is where the problem lies. So I won't, to a certain extent, I will not blame Brad Maloney. I will not blame him. But I'm saying what Brad did for the amount of money that we are paying, our local coaches could do it. That's my argument.
Okay.
I'm not finding fault because he couldn't bring a champion team. Yeah, because if you have that level of players, that much only they can produce.
Correct.
You know, so that's my take on it.
Yeah. And I guess that's the same case when we are talking about our national team.
Absolutely.
You know, the national coach.
Yeah, it's a reflection.
Yeah.
It's a reflection of the under 23, the under 19, the under 17, the under 15.
Correct.
It is all, one after another. It'll just keep on going.
Yeah.
So,
and we will be spending X amount of money all the time, and if
I would say, in my view, it's a personal opinion, I would say, for the time being, do not spend unnecessarily. Let's take a break from international scene. Okay, take a break in a sense that don't put targets. Let's put our house in order.
Audio Plus.